Johnson adding another run to their total, making things very interesting here in Waleska. And like I said before, really hanging around. They've been a thorn in Reinhardt's side. And you can tell with the way that they came out in the first game of this series that they were not going to be denied. They were not going to be intimidated. They're really forcing Reinhardt to work for this one, probably a little bit harder than they thought coming in. And then obviously not an ideal start to the appearance from Kobe Allison. What a tremendous play!
Laser from left field there. Matty Maurer with the tag at the plate, and just saves Reinhardt from keeping that lead, that 3-2 here.
Heck of a throw from Dylan Lewis to get that out at home plate. When we return, Reinhardt 3, Johnson 2.
Welcome back to Waleska, Georgia, and Ken White Field, where it's a one-run game. We're entering the bottom of the fourth between the Royals and the Eagles. We apologize if you've been kicked off the broadcast, you're back on it. We're in a battle with the internet out here at Ken White. We're a ways away from the nearest facility, so it's all run over wires, and it's tough. We're hanging with it. So if you do lose us, remember SCSNsports.com/how to watch. One way or another, we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Welcome back alongside the field, alongside the turf. Thrilled to have you with us. This is Luis Mendoza leading us off on this side of the inning as he chomps in left side down along the chalk, making his way down to first, and he's cut down one away.
So Mendoza going down there, but I hope enough fans were on the stream to be able to appreciate the play that Dylan Lewis just made from left field, throwing that one on a rope to home plate. Matty Maurer getting that with imperfect position to make the tag, preventing Johnson from tying the game up.
We lost our umpire way back in the beginning of this one.
And I will tell you, it is different. Very different. Umpire behind the plate right now seems to be a little inconsistent. Maybe not as much experience behind the plate.
Trailing into the center of the field and make it 2 down.
I'd say using words like inconsistent and different are a very nice way of putting it.
We are professional on this broadcast.
That's a very nice way of putting it. Inconsistent and different.
I will say this. The umpire behind the plate does have his balls and strikes backwards when he puts his hands up. So when I say the experience of him might not have as much experience as others, that may be what we're looking at there.
Maybe even a massive gap in experience, I'd say. But as a team, those are things that are outside of your control. You can't really focus on that. You can just control what you can control and try to play your game.
That'll retire the side. 3 away. We go to the top of the 5th just like that. We'll be back on SCSN. Don't go anywhere.
Southeast Sports Network is now on Amazon Fire TV. Now you can download the SESN app and watch on any Amazon-enabled device, such as your Fire Stick. The easiest way to download the app is to go to our website, find the Watch SESN tab, and click Fire TV app. Then just select your device from the list. That's it. Free and easy. Enjoy watching the Southeast Sports Network on your Fire TV, Fire Stick, or Fire tablet with just a few clicks.
Welcome back to Ken White Field College Baseball as we've entered into the top of the 5th between the Royals of Johnson and the Eagles of Reinhardt University. It's a one-run game. Welcome into the booth. Thanks for being with us. I'm Gabriel Schrei, Taylor Jackson, Lorenzo Robinson here with me. This is Taylor. Lorenzo is charging his phone. Welcome into the booth. Thanks for being with us. Thrilled to have you along for the ride. This is a good one. We've lost the feed once or twice, so I just want to remind everyone that you can find all the ways to watch and get back with us. SCSNsports.com/how to watch. If you do lose us, that's where you can get tuned back in and find all the different ways to find the game. Obviously, it's pretty disruptive, so I apologize for that, but nothing we can do about losing the network. Looks like we're having some problems now, but I'm not sure what would even be causing it. It's not as sharp as it should be. This is Kiefer at the plate. Allison delivers a strike. The 0-1 pitch. Kiefer holds off, strike 2. Kiefer chops this to the right side, rattling along the line, and the play at the bag puts him away. 1 down in the 5th.
Very unique way to get that out from that scroll. Slow little ground ball around the first base line. He actually grabbed, barehanded the ball and dove at the bag and touched the ball itself to the base to get the out.
It's good hustle there. Definitely unique, a nice way of putting it, but whatever you have to do, scratch and claw, whatever you got to do to get that out.
Got a Royal being helped off of the field back to the dugout. Hopefully he's all right. Braden Taylor next to the plate for the Royals of Johnson. Kobe Allison pitching for Reinhardt University.
Slight little check swing by Braden Taylor there. He will get called strike on that first pitch strike from Colby Allison.
One away, count is 1-1. Top of the 5th, 1-run game. Zipped in. Count is 2-1. Fouled off for strike 2. chopped left side. This one into the outfield, and he's on board over at first. Really great hit by Braden Taylor. He's 2 for 3 now on the day.
So Johnson was in prime position to tie the game up in the previous inning. They were unable to do so. Let's see if they're able to connect here and find that elusive third run.
Zipped in, strike one with one on board. Count is 1-1 with one away. Taylor over on first. This is Bryson Schoen at the plate for Johnson's Royals. Allison fires the pitch. Schoen has to step off. One on board, one away. The 2-1. That's high for ball three. Schoen ahead in the count. Three-1 outside, and that walks Schoen down on board at first. So now two on board with one away. Taylor out at second, Schoen at first. Really prime position. Good opportunity for QC and the Royals, who are trailing by just one run. Right side, this one's down in the outfield. We've got a runner coming home. No, he'll stay. The Royals now have loaded bases as QC ropes that single to the right. Big time situation for Sanchez, who is next in the batting order. Here he comes.
It seems like it didn't take the Royals long to figure Kobe Allison out. Reeling right now on the mound, really needs to get a handle on things.
Now, just last inning, we had this same situation, though. Johnson really has to focus on capitalizing with these, with ducks on the pond here and a big, lead run sitting at second base.
Strike one with bases loaded, just one away. Sanchez, the one working against Allison. Big swing. That's strike two. Allison ahead on the count. Quick ball by Allison. Count is 1-2. Bases loaded, one away. Sanchez working at the plate. Back behind us on the other Ken White field, Reinhardt Eagles softball team leading 1-0 over U-Pike. A bit high. With one away and bases loaded, count is 2-2.
Allison was well ahead on the count, 0-2. 3 consecutive balls thrown from him, allowing the count to fill up. Now, kind of in a position where he has to throw a strike. You don't want to walk the batter because that brings a free run home for Johnson.
The payoff pitch. Chopped left side. This one goes foul. Bases loaded. Count is full. One away. Johnson trailing by just one, 3-2. Sanchez fouls this right side. It sails out of play and into the evergreens.
He's bringing Allison into the deep end here, taking him deep into the count, forcing his pitch count to go up. Is he going to be able to capitalize on the many chances that he's given himself?
Checking in over at first. Kroll says he caught my foot, but not going to get it. We'll play on.
Another example of why the NAIA Baseball Committee needs to institute instant replay in these games.
Not only that, it really hurts that you're down. You're down an umpire right now as well.
Sanchez caught swinging. He goes back to the dugout, so 2 away with bases loaded. Allison strikes him out. That's big time from Kobe Allison, looking strong in the 5th.
He was taken out into the deep end there by Sanchez, forced to go deep into the count, was ahead 0-2. Then it fills up at 3-2. Nice job of him able to close the book on that at-bat.
Braden Ott is 0 for 1 today. Two away, bases loaded. The 1-0 pitch. Chopped left side, this one rolling down foul.
Best case scenario there for Mott, because if that one stays fair, then surely that would have prompted a changing of the sides.
Strike 2. 2 away, bases loaded. Count is 1-2. 1-run game in the top of the 5th.
And this would do worlds for Kobe Allison's confidence if he's able to get out of this jam here unscathed.
Here's the 1-2. Wow, struck him out, caught him looking. Unreal. That'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 5th in Waleska, Georgia. Reinhardt Eagles lead by a run on SCSN. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Waleska, Georgia on the Southeast Sports Network. We've reached the bottom of the 5th between the Eagles and the Royals. 1-run game, 3-2. Reinhardt leading Johnson as we head into this side of the inning. Gabriel Schrei, Lorenzo Robinson, Taylor Jackson. Really good action to this point between these two.
Absolutely tremendous action on both sides, and Johnson just then had a golden chance to tie this game up, potentially do even more. The bases were loaded, 1 out on the board. They were unable to capitalize. Nice job by Kobe Allison. So after that, the Eagles still clinging to a 1-run advantage with Jamel Ruckert coming up to the plate. We've seen Jamel Rooker in a few different situations, able to make plays for Reinhardt. And we'll see what he's able to do here. Borst remaining on the mound, and all things considered, having a pretty good outing, going up against one of the more talented lineups in the country, has really conducted himself very well. Reinhardt pretty much only had one inning of any meaningful plays at the plate. Of course, that inning resulted in the Eagles putting up 3 runs. Counts 1-1, and it will be crucial for Borst here to keep this Eagle lineup at bay. You're only trailing by 1 run. We saw Johnson and what they were able to do in the previous game. Hang around, and then they had their explosion in the 7th yesterday, putting up a 3 spot, taking a 3-run lead. Unfortunately, not able to close it out, but that has to be the game plan if you're going to beat a team like Reinhardt, especially when they have the talent that they have within their lineup. Full count here, 3-2.
Big swing from Rooker. A foul off the left side here.
And this eerily similar to the at-bat that we saw in the top half of this inning. Sanchez took Kobe Allison out into the deep end. About 12 pitches for the at-bat. Allison able to close the deal. We'll see what Borst is able to do here against Rooker. Rooker's very patient at the plate, so this is not unusual for him. Continuing to fight it off and stay alive. He's another one of those talented base runners for the Eagles, very capable of making things happen once he arrives on base. Puts a lot of stress on pitchers with his speed. So now he makes his way to first as we go back to the top of Reinhardt's order with Jared Burney coming up to the plate. So the last time that we saw kind of this 1-2 combination of Rooker getting on base and Burney coming up to the plate, it meant good things for the Eagles, and it really prompted their rally in that 3rd inning. And a check in here at first. Again, Rooker, his speed definitely respected when he arrives on base, puts a lot of stress in the hearts and minds of pitchers. Things get very dicey if you don't try to keep him in check over there. And you see there again another attempt, and you see how much respect Johnson has. We spoke about them being very prolific, stealing bases so far this season, but Reinhardt, multiple guys who are very capable of making life difficult for teams along the base paths. So do these continuous check-ins kind of take your attention away from what's happening at the plate, and you need to be able to focus, especially with a batter who's having the type of year that Jared Burney's having. So the count now 1-2. Birdie pops this one up. It will be corralled out in right field, and Reinhardt remains put at first.
So one away in Waleska, Georgia. One on board in the bottom of the fifth where it's a one-run game. It's a little cold, but I think we got a beautiful day for it here. You can see the softball team that's off just behind us. And a look at Ken White Field where we're playing now. Really good action between these two. Little check-in over at first. Keeping Reinhardt honest.
Rosario Allen back at the plate, and he's already made his presence felt with a huge RBI earlier in this one. And again, another check-in at first. You can tell there was a huge point of emphasis for Johnson coming into this game to not allow Reinhardt to feel comfortable with taking any bases. When they see those openings, they're prepared to pounce, and you really feel like Johnson trying their hardest to keep them at bay. Allen got a lot of wood on that one, but it goes foul. And again, with the exception of that third inning, Borst has conducted himself very well on the mound for the Royals. Eagles haven't been able to pick up any consistent momentum in this one. As this one drops into right field. Nice hit there from Allen. So that's his second hit of the game. Reinhardt moves into scoring position. He's now at second base. 2 men on for the Eagles with Dylan Lewis coming up to the plate.
Yeah, that's the worst case scenario, too, if you're Johnson, to have Lewis be the next in the batting order.
Especially with 2 runners on. Big opportunity here for Reinhardt to, take an extra step and, taking that lead over and, extending that lead from 1.
You got that sense, especially when Jamel Reinhardt found his way on base after being walked with a great at-bat facing off against Borst, that this felt very similar to that third inning.
Lewis blasts that. It goes straight up towards the edge of the infield, and so as it comes down, he'll go back to the dugout. We've got 2 away.
And that was not ideal there from Reinhardt. Dylan Lewis popping that one straight up in the air, and Johnson easily able to retrieve it. So now with 2 outs on the board, still 2 men on base. And Tucker's doing it with 1 swing of the bat can change everything for the Eagles. We've seen it time and time again.
Baseball crowds are my favorite. They're fun.
Very fun in settings like these, very engaged. You can tell that they're knowledgeable about the game. They know what's going on, and has to be difficult for the opposing team to go against a great team on the field and very energetic and chatty fans off of it.
Zadunik's average this season is .376. Fouls off.
So we saw Allison get out of that jam in the top of this inning. Borst trying to return the favor here, got in a little bit of trouble 2 men on base trying to leave the runners stranded. Going up against one of the better bats in the country over the course of the last 3 seasons in Tucker Zdunek.
Two away, 2 runners on board, one at second in scoring position. Allen's over on first. Count is 1-2. Forced from the mound. Zdunek fouls off right side.
It seems like he's trying to find that balance between being aggressive at the plate and staying patient, waiting on the right pitch to pounce on. More times that Boris pitches to him, you feel like Zdunek is getting closer and closer to receiving that pitch that he can't back off of.
Nice little rope towards the edge of the outfield. He's cut down, and that retires the side. So we'll take a break, these 2 programs, and be back with more college baseball on the top of the 6th in just a moment.
Welcome to the new era of brand promotion. Are you trying to find a way to make a splash? We understand that advertising isn't what it used to be. Things have changed. Advertising is both more dynamic and more engaging. Schrei Media keeps your brand not just seen, but remembered. In a world where staying relevant is key, we are your partners in staying top of mind.
A 1-run game in Waleska, Georgia. Thanks for being with us. Gabriel Schrei, Lorenzo Robinson. Taylor Jackson's around here somewhere. He's not in the box with us right now, but you are. Southeast Sports Network.
Seems like there's been a lot of shuffling in and out.
There's been enough. Been shuffling around. Then the internet dropping has been a little distracting. Shuffling streams, maybe. For folks at home, for us too.
But still, we soldier on.
Yeah, we're making it. We're into the 6th, and we just got to make it through like 10 more innings. We can do this. The internet can do this. 1-run game. At any point, does your strategy start to change down this backstretch? If so, when is my first question. Obviously it's going to, but if so, when? And secondly, do you really put a little more into trying to win this middle game because it could mean taking the series? Drop down in the edge of the outfield. He's on board over at first.
Well, to answer your first question, if you're Johnson, your strategy doesn't necessarily have to change because you've had early success in this game. You've been able to load the bases on more than one occasion. You've been able to put yourself in good positions. They have 8 hits in this game, so it's not like they've been able to make things happen offensively. They just have to capitalize and close the deal in those situations. And, of course, there's going to be more emphasis on trying to win this middle game because it does mean that you can win the series. If you lose this game, then you would just have to settle with taking one off of Reinhardt, which would be an impressive feat to do something that your program hasn't done in their history, as Johnson hasn't been able to overcome that hill. But it would be even more impressive to have a series victory against the Eagles.
1 on board, and he stays on that bag as Kroll takes this one.
But Johnson has been able to make plays at the plate. First against Galvez and now against Kobe Allison. They just have not been able to make that one last push to be able to tie this game up or take the lead. It seems like every time they get close, Reinhardt's able to close the deal.
The 0-2 pitch. Popped up, this one going foul. One on board for Johnson in the top of the 6th. Here's the 1-2. Chopped left. This goes foul as well. A little outside for the ball.
There were a few times in that last inning that Kobe Allison was able to get 2 quick strikes on the board and wasn't able to get to that third one on a few occasions. One of them, the bases, pardon the count, was full until he was able to get the strikeout.
Full count.
Johnson, some great plate discipline by them.
Here's the payoff pitch. Big swing. He strikes out, and a play down at second base. Reinhardt says they got him, but he stays on the bag.
So a nice job by the runner advancing in the scoring position now at second base. But you got to give Allison a lot of credit for staying focused on the task at hand and getting that strikeout.
Next to the batting order, Royals man holds off. This is Travis Hoven-Siefken, a junior infielder, outfielder. Almost 80 at-bats this year for him. Ropes this left side, it's down. One runner from scoring position comes across third. Now he's going to go back as the ball is in the glove of Mauer. So 2 in scoring position for the Royals as they trail by just 1 run to the Eagles of Reinhardt with 1 away.
Not a wholly unique experience here for Johnson. This is the 3rd consecutive inning that they've had runners at second and third at some point during the inning. So they've had plenty of chances. They need to be able to strike here. They have to take advantage. Because as much as they're just hanging around and really being a thorn in Reinhardt's side, the Eagles, their bat's still kind of coming together. Only 5 hits so far in this game. You don't want to give them a chance to catch fire and then extend their advantage. So Johnson needs to try to put some pressure on them here by scoring some runs.
This one's loose. Mauer can't get to it in time as Johnson's Royals tie the game 3 runs apiece.
Second run that Johnson has scored in this game by way of a wild pitch, taking advantage of a few rare miscues. Just like that, this game is tied up.
Matt Newton, the sophomore, batting. Here's the 1-0.
You could just tell by Johnson's energy yesterday that they were coming to Ken White Field with something to prove. They were not going to be intimidated by the setting, the situation, or the attention. They have played really well against the top-ranked team in the conference and a team that's trying to find themselves in the top 10 inside the national poll.
Caught by the 1-1. That puts him on board. So now in a tie ball game, 3 runs apiece. We've got runners on the corners for Johnson's Royals. Next to the plate is Braden Taylor, the third baseman and junior. He's been good this season. 29 hits entering today, a couple of homers as well.
I've said it a few times in this series. I really wish that NAI at some point would institute instant replay of some sort. Of seemed like that may have caught him by a whisker.
Another scramble back to the ball for Maurer as a runner advances down into scoring position out at second. So now 2 threatening for Johnson's Royals in a tie ball game, 3 runs apiece.
Wild pitches, passed balls, really not going Reinhardt's way in this one. Led to a few easy runs for Johnson. Just want to try to get something in play with 2 men in scoring position.
Braden Taylor, the junior, taking his cuts. Count is 2-0. 1 away, 2 in scoring position. Sort of into the late stages. A good hit here could be clutch. Reinhardt thought they were going to be able to put him back in the dugout, but instead it's a strike as this trends out of play back towards the road and into the evergreens.
Can be even more clutch just when considering the way that these pitching staffs have performed, that when you see that chink in their armor, you need to be able to capitalize.
He's cut down at first, but Johnson takes the lead 4-3 in Waleska, Georgia on the quick single to the right side.
And the Johnson contingent being very loud. They like that one. A lot of fans here making that trip from Tennessee for the Royals.
Showing up to bat right here with 2 outs and a big at bat from him. You know, he hit a home run yesterday with a runner on third here.
He's got a runner in scoring position, as you just said, and Schoen has been good this year. Not only yesterday, but his average this season, 252. Carries 17 RBIs into this game, so something he's not unfamiliar with. Would love to push the lead to 2 runs for the Royals, and certainly in position to do 2. This one chopped right side, sailing, and that retires the side in Waleska. It's a 1-run game. Royals leading 4-3 over the Eagles of Reinhardt University. Welcome back to Waleska, Georgia, and just above Ken White Field from the press box, it's the Southeast Sports Network. We've reached the bottom of the 6th between the Eagles and the Royals. Johnson leading by 1 run, 4-3. Gabriel Schrei, Taylor Jackson, Lorenzo Robinson, appreciate you being with us. These guys have some interesting perspectives, both longtime athletes, great in prep, great in college.
So yesterday's hero, Nash Kroll, at the plate, trying to reprise his role.
Kroll
Big hit for Nash Kroll here.
to the center, and he's gone, 1 away.
Nash Kroll's giving that center fielder a day. That's his second hit out to the center fielder.
Luis Mendoza will replace him, taking his cuts. Mendoza's been really good this season, 350 average. Almost 30 hits. He's got 29. If he gets one here, that'll be 30.
More on Kroll. It just seems like the way the wind has been today, it seems like it's been pushing downwards. So some of those big-time shots that we're used to seeing from him, not really getting a whole lot of assistance from the elements. If anything, it's been kind of limiting him. Also doesn't help that Reinhardt center field walled 400 feet dead center.
That's a deep field. Mendoza suffers strike 2. What do they call those old guys from the cartoon? Was that the Muppets that were up in the... You know what I'm talking about? Somebody knows exactly what I'm talking about that's listening that thinks this is hilarious that I can't think of it.
I'm 22 years old.
What are you trying to say, Lorenzo?
What am I trying to say? What is he trying to say?
And the count is 1 and 2. Yeah.
It is the Muppets. See, I knew it. I had to Google it. Popped up. Mendoza's in trouble. And 2 away for Johnson's Royals. I don't know. I've never heard him called that, but anyhow, they're like the peanut gallery. Stadler and Waldorf. I'm just thinking these guys over here are like that are making all the noise for Johnson.
Okay, but you know that's our teammates, right?
It is?
That's doing all the chirping.
I feel like they're rooting for Johnson.
I don't know.
It's a battle happening in the stands.
There is a battle,
fans and Reinhardt's fans as well.
The real battle today is who is cheering the most.
And that battle, much like the one on the field, is very even so far in this one.
1-0. 2 away. Matty Maurer is at the plate, the catcher. I didn't know they were called Statler and Waldorf. I don't know if I feel like this is Mandela effect.
I hate to say I'm unfamiliar with what you're referring to. I'm sorry about that.
I've never heard of that stuff in my life.
Sorry about that.
Them or the Mandela effect?
22 years. No, I don't know who Statler and Waldorf is.
I mean, that's okay. You don't have to know what that is. You're not missing out on anything. Just the joke.
I know who Elmo and the Cookie Monster is.
It's the same.
Similar?
That's the same. Yeah.
That's Sesame Street, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get the idea. No, it's the same zip code. They live on the same block.
Same building.
Yeah.
Same zip code.
Different sides of the hall, same building.
Sesame Street, get it?
So Maurer is going to take his place on first. Pinch runner coming in for him. Looks like Profit. And we've got a meeting on top of the mound.
Fair to wonder if Bor's day is done. He's conducted himself very well. He's had a very nice appearance going up against this potent Reinhardt lineup, and his day will be done. He provided plenty of great moments for Johnson during his appearance, and he has a lot to be happy about as he makes his way to the dugout.
Just a reminder, you can find all the ways to tune in, scSNsports.com/how-to-watch. Anytime, anywhere, find all the games, ways to tune in. Big thanks to LJ Telephone Company for carrying today's games on ETC3. Much appreciated. Take a look at the current top 25 in college baseball across the nation. The poll still standing from before Reinhardt's gigantic upset of the Fire of SCU. Southeastern #1. Their record also is from before that upset. Reinhardt #11. It'll be interesting to see how things change in the next edition of the college baseball poll from the front office of the NAIA. A couple of Appalachian Athletic Conference teams receiving votes in the poll. And here's a look at the conference standings. Reinhardt University number 1, followed by Pikeville, Tennessee Wesleyan, and Milligan. Union College rounding out the top 5 in Appalachian Athletic Conference action. Johnson coming off of a series against Truett McConnell. They've got one coming up this week. Georgia Gwinnett, St. Andrews, Carolina University, their next 3. Reinhardt's schedule obviously had that triple-header against Southeastern. Got to wrap up this triple-header against Johnson. Then Montreat, and a triple-header against Bryan College coming up. Two away. James Showalter pitching now as he rings up a strike. 1 on board here in the bottom of the 6th in a 1-run game. Profit, the pinch runner, over on first. This is Richard Castro. He's 1 for 2 today. Usually, if he can get a hit, he's hot.
Yeah, and we've seen him be able to make plays happen, especially throughout his time on campus, and he started things off very well in this game, so maybe he can carry some momentum with him.
Big swing, strike 2.
And the speed of Profit at first, but 2 outs on the board, kind of negating it a little bit.
Two away for the Eagles. Richard Castro at the plate, taking his cuts. Showalter just recently checking in on top of the mound, looking sharp early for the Royals.
Castro's base hit really helped Reinhardt start. They're rallying that third.
The 1-2. Castro pops this up, trending right side towards the chalk. Johnson thinks they have it. This one goes foul and out of play. So he stays alive. He'll go back to the plate with a 1-2 count. 2 away and Profit on board at first.
That's a quality hack there from Castro. New pitcher on the mound. You want to try to make him uncomfortable, especially early.
Chopped right side. This goes foul.
He's really making Showalter work for this one. Continuing to give himself bites at the apple. Trying to cash in on one of these chances that he's giving himself. Meanwhile, Showalter, he can't lose focus. He needs to be able to get this punch out here to end the inning.
With 2 away, Castro, big swing. He strikes out. So that'll retire the side, and we'll be back in just a moment in a 1-run game from Waleska. Welcome back to Ken White Field, Waleska, Georgia. College baseball, SESN. One-run game between the Royals of Johnson, Eagles of Reinhardt. We've got it all on SESN. Gabriel Schrei, Taylor Jackson, Lorenzo Robinson. Thrilled to have you along with us for the ride as we enter the top of the 7th between these two.
And for the Royals, it seemed like it was just a matter of time until they were going to finally cash in on one of these golden chances that they had. 3 consecutive innings with 2 runners in scoring position. Finally able to bring them home, and now they hold the lead. Reinhardt unable to match them in the bottom of the 6th.
2 quick strikes. Lasered in by Kobe Allison, looking sharp in the 7th.
That's a
Little low.
Allison's been trying to get that to happen ever since he's been on the mound, trying to get one of Johnson's batters to chase at something low.
He'll take it. Cashes him out, sends him back to the dugout. Sanchez will replace him at the plate. Fouled off. The 0-1, big swing. That's strike 2.
Allison being very efficient here. Again, count on his side. It's 0-2. Any pitch at his disposal.
Struck him out. 2 away.
It just feels like Allison, ever since he was in that jam in the previous inning, he's come back onto the mound with a renewed sense of focus. You can feel that urgency starting to rise, especially with Johnson pulling out in front.
I can't help but to hear Reinhardt's fans over here chanting and chirping. Has me laughing over here, being able to hear them.
Can they come to every sporting event? I love them. They're funny. They're cracking me up. I'm having a hard time staying focused. They're so funny. Chopped left side. Royals man down to first, and that retires the side. What a way to end it for the Eagles of Reinhardt University. We'll take a break and be back in Waleska, Georgia. Welcome back to Ken White Field in Waleska, Georgia, where it's a one-run game. Welcome inside of the booth, Gabriel Schrei, Taylor in the middle, Lorenzo on the end. Appreciate you being with us for all the action today. This has been a really good one, and excited to have you along for the ride as we're kind of coming down the back stretch now.
We are, and It feels very similar again to what we saw yesterday. Johnson hanging around until they were able to make their mark. Right now they have 9 hits to Reinhardt's 5, so 2 games in a row that Reinhardt's bats have started slowly. They're hoping for a spark here, and that's exactly what Coach Burton's trying to do, inserting Lance Dockery into the lineup.
This will be his first at-bat of the game, just a quick check-in for this inning.
He's one of the more clutch bats on their team, so not a surprise to see Coach Burton turn to him.
I mean, you mentioned clutch bats. He's also one of the most consistent bats on the team as well, especially with 0 outs. You really want to see if you can spark, a big run here. Get those bunch of runs that you like, that Reinhardt likes to get, at those big moments. 0-2 on the count here with 0 outs.
The 0-2 in the bottom of the 7th, zipped in. Held off. Suffers the strike. He'll go back to the dugout. Back to the top of the batting order. This is Jarrett Burney stepping up.
And if you're a fan of the Eagles, you may be prompted to start to feel like the game is slipping away, but if yesterday showed you anything, it's that the game isn't over until it's over, until there's 3 outs made in the bottom of the 9th inning. Reinhardt, with their capability of being able to catch fire at any moment, they will always have a chance as long as there's some outs on the board. But Johnson, 2 days in a row, they have to feel good about where they are at this point in the game.
Straight up, and that'll send him back to the dugout. So 2 away on this side of the inning.
Second game in a row that a bunt was popped straight up to a member of the Johnson Royals. It's rare to see that happen one time in a series, yet alone 2 times in one series and in back-to-back games. Reinhardt's lineup's been quiet, but Marcerio Allen's been anything but. We'll see what he's going to be able to do. They've really relied on him for some consistent offense in this game.
Strike 1. 2 away. Count is 1-1 from Ken Whitefield. Two one, zipped in for strike 2. 2 away. Count is 2-2 for Burney. Allen, rather, excuse me. It's a 1-run game, 4-3. Johnson in the driver's seat as Allen goes after this. A race down to first. He won't win it. And that retires the side. So we'll be back with the top of the 8th in Waleska from Ken White in just a moment.
Southeast Sports Network is now on Amazon Fire TV. Now you can download the SESN app and watch on any Amazon-enabled device, such as your Fire Stick. The easiest way to download the app is to go to our website, find the Watch SESN tab, and click Fire TV app. Then just select your device from the list. That's it. Free and easy. Enjoy watching the Southeast Sports Network on your Fire TV, Fire Stick, or Fire tablet with just a few clicks.
Welcome back to Ken White Field. It's the top of the 8th from Waleska, Georgia. College baseball on SCSN. Thanks so much for being with us. Gabriel Schrei, Taylor Jackson, and a potentially angry Lorenzo Robinson who's slamming his phone around over there. What's going on?
He can't get the Wi-Fi to work on his laptop.
I can't get the internet to work for the broadcast, so I feel that. It just doesn't. It doesn't.
It's got a mind of its own.
It's just doing whatever it feels like is the best right now.
The best is not very great.
No, it's less than ideal. This is Blaze, who's going to be first at the plate in the top of the 8th.
Second time in the series that we get a chance to see Brett Allen on the mound. Coach Burton trusts him in a lot of big spots. Started a few games for the Eagles. He's gone deep into games for them as well. One of their most consistent relievers. Of course, it's a constant battle of being able to try to ride him as much as you can, but you don't want to overwork him as well.
Big swing. That'll send him back to the dugout.
And right there, showcasing it there, getting a strikeout, facing off against the first batter that he's seen all game long.
Blaze couldn't handle Allen. Allen's been so good all season long. No surprise to see him come out. Looks so sharp against the first batter he faces. Seth Presley now at the plate, taking his cuts against Brett Allen. Allen's originally from Newey, Australia. Very jealous of the weather there. Going to be about 80 degrees during the day today. It's nighttime right now in Newcastle, Australia. Chopped left side. A race down to first. He won't win it, so 2 away in Waleska. Seth Presley replaced at the plate by Travis Hobensiefken. With 2 away, he chops this at Sale's right side and goes foul. The 1-1. Brett Allen, the 2-1 delivery. With 2 away, gonna walk him. He'll take his place down on first.
Very patient at bat there from the Royals. Very difficult to do, especially with 2 outs on the board. You want to try to, as human nature tells you, to try to get it all back at once, but laying back, being very patient. They get a man on base as they try to put together a 2-out rally, put even more pressure on the Eagles.
This is Matt Newton at the plate. Hobensiefken down on first. 2 away. Count is 0-1.
It's imperative that Brett Allen just closes the deal here. Needs to get that 3rd out, especially because it's been hard for Reinhardt to be able to build some momentum offensively. You don't want that deficit to be too wide going into your final 6 outs.
It's just a 1-run game, 4-3 Royals. 2 away on this side of the inning. We're on the top of the 8th from Waleska at Ken White Field.
And a run is manageable. You can find a way to scrap together and get a run. But you don't want to try to put yourself into too much of an hole.
Chopped down towards the outfield, and he's cut down at first, so that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th. We'll keep it here and not take a break. Going into the bottom of the 8th, it's a one-run game, and you're talking about how, hey, they could scrape together a run right here and do something with that. How bad did they need to score a run right there? Is this an emergency situation against a team like Reinhardt when you only have 3 outs left to play with, or not really? You still feel like there's some space to work with in the top of that 9th?
You don't want to necessarily think of it as an emergency situation, but you do know at least recent history, right? And recent history tells us that having 6 runs, being up 6-3 going into the 9th isn't a safe advantage against Reinhardt, because they were able to put up as many runs as they did in the 9th inning to be able to come back and win that game. So you don't want to take it as an emergency situation. You just want your urgency level to rise to the occasion.
You definitely want to see them, get those little base hits, get runners in good position, and just be able to just take it one step at a time, one strike at a time, one ball at a time, one pitch at a time, and just just be able to just you ain't got to scrape together a run, but it'd be nice to get some good hits in, to get the ball in play, and just allow your teammates to do what they know how to do. What you do all season, you got Dylan Lewis coming up. He's going to kick off the inning. It's a big at bat for him. He could take this run away for himself. And you see him do it yesterday. In one inning, one pitch he took it for a ride.
Bottom of the 8th. This is Dylan Lewis, the 0-1. Lewis chops that right side, sailing towards the wall. He's chasing it. It's gone. Dylan Lewis, hello and goodbye to that pitch as he sends it yard and ties the game at 4 runs apiece between the Eagles and the Royals.
A guy like Dylan Lewis, just said it right before the bat, has the ability to take the game for himself. Big hit in right field. It didn't even look like right fielder had a chance. He just kept backing up and backing up. After you back up so far, you just got to know that the fence is coming, and it was gone. So now you got Reinhardt scoring 1. It's 4-4 here, bottom of the 8th.
This is Tucker Zadunik who's going to come to the plate. 53 home runs this season for Reinhardt's Eagles.
And that's why your urgency level needs to increase, because just like that, they're able to get themselves back into the ball game. You probably felt a sense of comfort. We have a lead. They haven't been able to hit too well throughout this one. And just like that, it's tied up.
Yeah, I would say the urgency level is basically through the roof after Reinhardt hit a grand slam, walk-off win last night against Johnson. Royals have to be paranoid. How can we stave off losing in that fashion again? And they see their chance at claiming the series slipping away in the bottom of the 8th.
And you play so many games, it's hard to come out every game and look dominant. You have to be able to win in different ways. Reinhardt trying to figure out a way to get this one, especially with their offense being a little bit spotty at times. It would feel really good for them to be able to steal 2 wins away from the Royals.
You talk about the game you had yesterday, being able to steal 2 wins. Your guy on deck right now is Nash Kroll. He is getting in a bat at this inning no matter what. When in a bat like him, Dylan Lewis putting 1 out, Nash Kroll coming up.
James Showalter. Just over a dozen pitches thrown in this one against Reinhardt's Eagles from on top of that mound. Count is 2-2. Zadunik holds off as that one's low and outside, and it fills up our count.
I feel like Showalter's kind of compensating here. Doesn't want to give Zadunik something easy to take yard, especially with the way that he can make things change with just one swing of the bat.
The payoff pitch. Zadunik chops that right up the middle. roped, and it's down to the outfield as he's on board at first.
See, this is what I mentioned earlier. I would really want to see Reinhardt put together a bunch of hits here, being able to put runners in position. And you got Nash Kroll coming up at the plate just to do that himself.
It feels like that momentum has completely shifted the opposite direction. You heard some words from Johnson's fans. Their dugout was very chatty. All of a sudden, they're quiet. Reinhardt's fans are being chatty, and they're starting to sense it a little bit.
This is Nash Kroll. He hit a walk-off grand slam for the win last night. Got hit by a 100-mile-an-hour pitch in the face last week against the #1 team in the country. Had to go to the hospital, get stitches. Today, he's 0 for 3. The first game of the season we did together on SCSN, I said he might be due, and he was due. He could be due here.
And you may be some good luck for him because start to the season for him was a little bit up and down. It wasn't as dominant as we've seen him at the plate. And ever since the Southeast Rumble, it seemed like that was the real turning point for him. Ever since then, he's been what he's been throughout his Reinhardt career and been even better over the course of these past few weeks.
Kroll's originally from Canada. His parents are here this weekend. First time they've been stateside. First time they've seen him play college baseball. Pretty cool that they were on hand to be able to see that walk-off grand slam in person. That's a special moment.
One that family will surely never forget. I know they were very worried about him after the situation from last week as well.
Kroll! Oh my goodness! No way! He does it again! He's unstoppable! Reinhardt extends their lead! It's 6-4 Eagles! He's a home run machine!
There's nothing left to say, but Nash Kroll is that dude.
The confidence running through this Reinhardt dugout right now is through the roof. 2 home runs, 1 inning. Now you're up 6-4. You put up 3 runs. Now you're 0 outs. You got to continue to let that go. Continue to go in the right direction, being the offense that Johnson has had. You have to be able to capitalize and continue to score runs and put the ball in play.
There's not a lot of teams in the country that have a 3-headed monster in the middle of their lineup like the one that Reinhardt has with Lewis, Zadunik, and Kroll, and all of them making something happen for the Eagles and giving them the lead.
Yeah, it's really wild to think about it and put it that way. This one's a bit outside. Counts 1-1 for Luis Mendoza. If you somehow escape the deadly bat of Lewis and his average of 440, then you got to go against Zadunik, and his average is 385. And if you get past that, of course, his average seems low in comparison to those two at 344, but the power hitting of Nash Kroll, that's what you get. When he does make contact, it's gone.
3 guys, one of them is Zadunik, who's already been an All-American in his career. All 3 guys will surely receive plenty of All-American consideration after this year. And it's like a sleeping giant. You feel like you're keeping them at bay, you're keeping them at arm's length, and then when they wake up, there is definitely terror on the horizon, and we're seeing that here in the 8th inning.
Luis Mendoza. These fans are killing me. They are just a riot today.
And you're hearing Reinhardt fans now talking to Johnson's fans as well.
I could listen to that all day.
I just like drama. Not being in it, but I like to hear about it.
Yeah,
though.
right. We get to sit here behind the window. They probably can't see us very well. I'm just smiling at the microphone.
So Showalter needs to lock back in here. Things kind of rolling off the rails.
Payoff pitch is
Good
chopped
shot by the
left
third
side.
baseman.
A race down to first, and Mendoza is safe.
An error, the last thing that you need if you're the Royals, and everything going Reinhardt's way.
especially on would seem like should be a routine ground ball for a team like this. I feel like he might have rushed it, judging by like the speed of Mendoza running down the baseline and like the jump that Mendoza had out the box.
I spoke about this yesterday. The best defensive players are the ones that make the routine look easy, and the point that you just made, a very seemingly routine play not going Johnson's way.
Parker Doyle get a pinch run over on first. Meeting on top of the mound for these two. No outs. Bottom of the 8th. 2-run game. Reinhardt in the lead. Showalter coming out. We're getting a pitching change for the Royals of Johnson University. So they'll give him some time to warm up. Seth Bauer, the junior left-handed pitcher. He's pitched 30 innings this season. Just over 5 ERA. Whip of 131. He's allowed 13 runs in those 30 innings. I'm starting to get old. I don't get the memes anymore.
The memes?
Yeah, I feel like I don't get the jokes anymore. I made a reference earlier and you guys didn't get it.
You referenced the Muppets.
It's not that obscure. People know what that is.
Wait, hey, Google when the last time the Muppets was
Stop!
streamed.
Don't Google that, bro. Don't look that up. Don't listen to him.
That's gotta be before
Don't listen.
we were
I'm gonna
born.
mute you. It's probably about a minute. When did that go out of production? That's probably Googleable. When did that go out of production? Let me Google that. Let me Google that for you. When did that? We used to say that. I worked at a radio station in a rural county in Michigan, and people would call and they'd be like, "How many eggs should I put in this cake?" I don't know. I'm a radio DJ. Why? Yeah, let me Google that for you. Why would you call me? One of the Muppets.
Especially when Google is free.
Right. They might not have had a computer. 1981.
Yeah.
Listen, that's like 20 years before I was born, so it's not like
That's how many years before you were born?
like almost. Well, not 20, but 15,
But that's 20 years before I was born.
15. I'm not that much older than you
Gabriel, how
guys.
old are you?
I'm gonna be 30 this year.
Oh, okay.
So my double ARP card's probably in the mail.
If you use that at Outback, though, it's 10% off.
Is it really?
It actually is.
I might have to join double ARP ASAP.
So you remember the 90s.
Yeah.
Like you remember it.
Oh, it was great. That was good. That was the best time to be
He
alive.
was like 8 years old in the 90s.
Yeah, he was around for it. He was in the mix.
Those are the days. Pre-cell phones. I remember when cell phones really started to take off.
Yeah, when it came in a box,
Yeah, it's.
you carried it in a briefcase and it had like a long cord.
I don't think. Stop. I almost let that slide. I don't think. You see stuff about that on the internet, I'm sure, and it's hard to describe how different it was to be a kid too, and like the difference between being 9 years old and nobody has the cell phones and the internet's different, and how much it changed. It's different. It's a different world.
I enjoy shutting my phone off sometimes. Taking a step back.
If I did not work in social media, I probably would not have.
Yeah,
social
that's a little
media.
hard.
Yeah.
Dang. We're getting degrees in social media.
Have to at least be well versed. You don't
Yeah.
really need to have too much of a personal presence, just enough to understand.
Yeah, if you go
what's
look through
going
my
on.
Facebook, I've never posted a photo of anything that relates to me personally. It's all just like, I'm at this university. It's going to be great. Tune in.
With
Like one photo
with
of
the
my
Sports
dog.
Network's link right there.
Like one photo of my dog.
After the pitch and change here, Matty Maurer at the plate. We got 1-2 count with 0 outs. Man on first.
2-run game. We'll check in over at first.
Just looking at the body language of the Royals, and it seems like they're a little bit shell-shocked. Again, 2 games in a row seemed like they were going to ride off into the sunset with big-time wins. Yesterday it happened in the 9th inning. Today happening in the 8th. Regardless of what happens through the rest of this inning, they're going to have 3 outs to work with to try to find themselves back into this ball game.
No outs, 2-run game. Reinhardt, another check-in over there at first, keeping Parker Doyle honest. He's got wheels. Popped up. Trending foul. Count is 2-2.
Mauer staying alive, really working this at bat, giving himself more chances. Last thing Johnson needs to surrender is a base hit.
Play out at second as he races to the bag. Doyle going for it. They'll say he's safe.
So he gets in the scoring position.
Last pitch was called strike. Got a full count here with 0 outs. Runner on second. Nice scoring position here from Matty Mauer.
They're going to walk him down to first. So 2 runners on board now for the Eagles of Reinhardt University with none away in the bottom of this 8th inning in a 2-run game. Reinhardt leading 6-4 over the Royals of Johnson University. He's got my favorite walk-up song. It's a good song. Who's got your favorite walk-up song?
I like his song. I like Jared Burney's song too. Probably between those guys. I like Luis Mendoza's song because it seems like it gets the crowd involved. Tucker Zadunek's also a fan favorite.
You just gonna name their whole starting lineup, or
That's about 6 of the.
That's 4 guys. That's 4 guys. I mean, I definitely appreciate good fan-involved walk-up songs. Really bridging that gap. Will Underwood coming into the game in a big spot. These are usually the situations that Coach Burton trusts him in.
Steps off. Both runners stay put. One on first, one over on second. Two-run game. 3 runs scored in the bottom of this 8th inning for the Eagles of Reinhardt University. Johnson looking to close this out. No outs on this half of the inning. Chops at it, strike 1, counts 1-1. I need these Reinhardt fans to just follow me around and cheer for my life. Has he got an Appalachian Athletic Conference t-shirt on?
I told you that was our teammates.
But is that a conference t-shirt?
It's a conference championship t-shirt.
Oh, it's a conference championship t-shirt.
Every championship that we won, we get a t-shirt at the end of the year.
I would just love that if he just had an AAC conference t-shirt with the Green Mountain logo.
No, not.
If you're gonna do that, you might as well get a Reinhardt one because we own it.
I want stop. I want an AAC t-shirt.
I'll give you one of mine.
Stop.
Looks like a 2X.
To fit it.
Pumped up. Sailing right. This one out of play. Back into the Evergreens and University Stadium. A lot going on here for Family Day.
When I finally got my AC shirt, it didn't fit, so I cut the sleeves off of it. Very disappointing day when Kago handed it to me.
Oh, that's my car. I got to go move that. No, it's not my car. I'm lying.
As long as they don't say blue truck.
Someone's got the bus parked in.
Oh, jeez.
Can't park the bus in. They got the softball team, Pikeville's bus parked in. A couple of softball games right behind us this morning. We had soccer up to our right, University Stadium. That's a program. Both the soccer teams are going to be really good this fall. Excited to see them. Frankie Ruiz, the head man for Reinhardt University men's soccer. A little check-in on Doyle out at second. That fills our count.
Man, I want to play into that too loud. I'm not sure if it's all PG over there.
I just love the AAC t-shirt. That's the best part. I just want...
Like I mentioned earlier, there's like 15 students over there, from women's volleyball to men's volleyball to the ones you actually hear are football players up top standing up.
That was another great at-bat for the Eagles. The bases now loaded, a chance to add even more runs to their total. Still no outs on the board, so Johnson absolutely reeling here.
This is Lance Dockery, the senior. His average this season is .255. He does have 20 RBIs.
And every last one of them coming in huge moments for Reinhardt.
He's 0 for 1 today.
But it seems like the bigger the moment, the better he plays. What a time for him to try to get something in play here, bring in at least one run for the Eagles. It would be a lot to ask for from Johnson if this lead stretches out any further to be able to eradicate that in just one inning.
Chopped off left side. Strike two, count is 1-2. No outs, bases loaded from Ken White Field in Waleska, Georgia. This is Lance Dockery battling at the plate. Seth Bauer pitching. The 1-2. Chopped again, left side. This goes foul.
Johnson infielders up tight, trying to conserve a run here, see if they can get a nice ground ball and get a play at home plate.
One, two, and he strikes out. So one away in the bottom of the eighth in a two-run game. The Royals finally send one man back to the dugout, and they needed that.
Now Reinhardt coming over the top of their lineup here with Jarrett Burney, who hasn't had a great day today, but is known for greatness in the past. And we'll see if he can do just that right here this at bat.
As far as he goes, yeah, this is a really quiet day for Burney. 0 for 3. Great batting average this season. He's been a key contributor all year long for the Eagles. One away, takes the ball. Bases loaded in Waleska in a 2-run game. This is basically the perfect spot in the batting order for Reinhardt. With the bases loaded, just one away, bottom of the 8th. You might want to be 1 or 2 batters further down the lineup with this situation on deck. Left side, this one picked up on the edge of the infield, and he'll be cut down, but another run scores for the Eagles. 2 away, it's a 3-run game in Waleska, Georgia.
Jacob Prophet making his first at bat of the day here, subbing in for Marcel Allen.
It seemed like the third baseman had a little bit of a hiccup. He was unsure where to go with the ball and was able to secure out number 2, but Reinhardt now ahead by 3 runs. Again, it'd be a very tall task to ask for out of the Royals in this 9th inning coming up.
Zipped in for the ball. Prophet at the plate for Reinhardt's Eagles.
Of course, the Eagles would love nothing more than to continue to put more pressure on them and add to their total.
Prophet bunts. Headed up the line, right side. He's safe. Wheels. Wow, is he fast.
Look, he's coming up to bat. And he kicked off this inning. Dylan Lewis.
Rare for a team to make their way one time through the order in just 1 inning, but that just shows you the way that Reinhardt has played offensively here in the 8th. And it's been a good mix. You had the power that's been seen. You had a few attempts at small ball as well. Some nice at-bats and good patience from a few different guys getting walked to base. So a little bit of everything from Reinhardt here in the 8th, and they're all over the Royals.
2 away. 5 runs scored in the bottom of the 8th. Runners on the corners as Lewis chops this right side, and he's cut down to retire this side. We go to the 9th. What a performance by the Eagles in that half inning. We'll take a break and be back on SCSN. Welcome back to Waleska, Georgia. It's the top of the 9th in a 4-run game. Reinhardt's Eagles leading by 4 over the Royals of Johnson University. Welcome inside the booth. I'm Gabriel Schrei. We've got Taylor Jackson, Lorenzo Robinson, all the action for you. Thanks for being with us on the Southeast Sports Network as we're going down the stretch here. Your thoughts on this last inning, guys?
Big 5 spot by Reinhardt. We always we talk about the ability that Reinhardt has at getting those those innings where they just get those bunches of runs, and the confidence on the mound. Inning before by our pitchers, and then just jumping in that inning and just having an explosive inning, kicking it off with Dylan Lewis and then Nash Kroll with a 2-run home run. That those 3 at bats alone, I felt like boosted the morale of the Reinhardt dugout.
So the biggest question here, how much fight does Johnson have left in them? They've been fighting. They've been able to stick with Reinhardt all throughout the greater part of both games. And if you really look at it at a glance, we've already played 17 innings in this series. Johnson has probably been the better team for 14 or 15 out of those 17 innings, but Reinhardt able to change things at the blink of an eye, and now they have 3 outs to work with. Now just 2 outs to work with after that strikeout from Allen.
That's a hot start.
That is right field, number 3.
But how many teams can say that that's played Reinhardt, right? That you've played them 17 innings down. You've been better for probably all except 2 of those innings. Of course, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is what's on the scoreboard. And right now, Reinhardt holding that 4-run advantage, and all of the pressure shifting to Johnson as they try to make one last-ditch effort to stay in this one.
With one away, the 1-0 pitch. Schoen pulls up, ball 2. "2-0. Zipped inside for strike 1.
Just their body language when they were out on the field in the bottom of the 8th, you could just tell that a few guys had shoulders slumped. That, of course, very unexpected to give up 5 runs in short order, especially when you don't really seem to be seeing that coming, especially with the way Reinhardt was playing in the first 7 innings. But he seemed a little bit defeated.
Strike 2, thought he was going to get the walk. Instead, now our count full with 1 away in the top of the 9th in a 4-run game. Brett Allen on top of the mound for the Eagles. The payoff pitch. Popped up, sailing over the center, and he's gone. 2 away in the top of the 9th from Waleska.
The speed by Lance Dockery right there out of center field, able to track that ball down and help Donnie Allen out and get that second out.
Number 30, Nolan Q6.
Just 1 out away, putting this game away for Reinhardt here.
Nolan Cusey, the shortstop. He's 3 for 4 today. Kind of a last hope for the Royals in this one.
Again, they've played really well here in Waleska. They've definitely conducted themselves better than a few other teams that have been in this same spot, so you have to commend them with the way that they've played. But again, true sign of a championship team, being able to win games and series in multiple ways.
That's and I expect that out of Appalachian Athletic Conference teams. These are all really good schools, institutions, historical schools that recruit good people. And you see that day in and day out when you're at an AAC event. You always get that. You always get that good attitude on and off the field. Chopped left side, sailing towards the wall, it's down. He's across first, headed down to second, and with 2 away, he's in scoring position for the Royals of Johnson as Sanchez will replace him at the plate.
That's a nice job there, getting a big-time 2-out extra base hit to keep the game going. And we saw yesterday that this game isn't over until there's 3 outs in the 9th, so Reinhardt can't relax here. Brett Allen needs to refocus and try to close the deal on this one.
Zipped in for the strike. Big swing, strike 2. Count is 0-2 with 2 away.
Allen just 1 strike away, really needs to finish the deal here. Sanchez trying to keep it going.
That's ball 1. 2 away, 1 on board out at second. Sanchez battling at the plate. Allen from on top of the mound for Reinhardt. He'll deliver the 1-2. Popped up left side, sailing back towards the wall, and he's down. That retires the side and finishes the game as Reinhardt wins this one, claiming the second of 3. They're going to win the series. We'll play one more. Thoughts on this game?
Reinhardt able to come away with another game, stealing 2 consecutive games from the Johnson Royals. The Royals were all over them in this one, but Reinhardt able to come away with a victory by way of a big-time surge, and that's just what this team is capable of doing in situations like these.
2 big innings for Reinhardt, able to put up that 5 spot in the 8th inning, the bottom of the 8th. I really would like to see Reinhardt, fill in those goose eggs on the scoreboard. Get a couple innings where you get 1 or 2, or and continue to build that score up. Those innings are big, but is that going to be enough to push into the tournament? is that going to be enough to play against these big teams, in the NAIA? And you really need to be able to put the ball in play and get those innings where you got to fill those goose eggs in. You got to fill those zero run innings in, and as well as continue grabbing those bunches of runs in those big innings.
Well, fantastic. That'll do it for Game 2 of 3, an 8-4 win for the Reinhardt Eagles. We'll have Game 3. Be sure to tune in on the Southeast Sports Network. All events airing on our networks are broadcast live in our copyright material. Today's game will be archived inside of the Apper platform where you viewed it and available for replay. This has been a presentation of the Southeast Sports Network.
The Southeast Sports Network, your free ticket to front row sports action. From heart-pounding football showdowns to thrilling basketball games, experience every moment live, all from the comfort of your home. Your favorite athletes, broadcast in real time and on demand. It's not just streaming, it's your front row ticket to the best of Southeastern sports. And the best part? It's absolutely free. Don't miss a moment of your favorite teams. Join us now at the Southeast Sports Network. The Southeast Sports Network, your front row ticket to live sports.